Highway infrastructure in the United States. Highways play a very important role by allowing greater connectivity between cities and towns. In 1910, the Lincoln Highway became the first highway constructed in the United States. It crosses 13 states, connecting San Francisco to New York. The highway system was further expanded in 1956 when President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed the Federal Aid Highway Act, allocating money to states for highway projects. Though highways are very beneficial, they do not affect all socioeconomic classes the same. Both the upper and middle classes greatly benefited from the construction of the interstate highway system in urban areas. Faster routes for people to commute into cities, along with the federal government offering housing market incentives to attract middle-class whites away from urban neighborhoods and into the suburbs, led to the trend known as white flight, or the tendency for whites to migrate farther and farther away from urban neighborhoods. As a result, inner-city neighborhoods became increasingly poorer and racially segregated. Unlike the upper and middle classes, the lower class, and specifically minorities, have not shared the benefits from highway infrastructure in the United States. Many highways were constructed through poor minority neighborhoods, which had devastating effects for the neighborhoods and families whose homes were destroyed. Furthermore, highways helped to create barriers between lower and middle class neighborhoods, which furthered segregation and led to isolation. In Chicago, former Mayor Richard J. Daley used money from the Federal Aid Highway Act to construct expressways through poor African American neighborhoods. The 14-lane Dan Ryan Expressway created a barrier between white and African American neighborhoods. Neighborhood segregation has led low-income neighborhoods to experience high levels of unemployment, which lead to further deterioration of these neighborhoods and the institutions within them, as well as increasing the amount of poverty in these neighborhoods, which says that the lack of access of jobs to inner-city African Americans is partly due to the distance between the jobs and the neighborhoods of the inner-city minorities. Proponents of this idea place emphasis on the physical distance between entry-level jobs and where people live. However, they neglect the importance of having connections in the job network, which many poor minorities do not have, and as a result, contributes to the inability to find employment for these individuals. Both Republican and Democrat politicians have pushed for empowerment zones to try to increase employment in urban neighborhoods. Empowerment zones is based off the concept of bringing jobs closer to impoverished and highly unemployed neighborhoods. In spite of